So this is an overview of the Peachtree Nova 220 SE integrated hybrid tube amp. So that sounds like a mouthful, but it is exactly what it is. The Nova is the series, which Peachtree have been known for across the various Nova lines, starting from the original Deco up to the Deco 65, 65 SE. Then they started producing the Novas, the Nova 2s, Nova 125, and then for the Series 1 of the Peachtree integrated amp, the Nova 220 SE was their flagship. This has since been replaced with the new Series 2 Nova integrated amp produced by Peachtree, which includes the Nova 150, the 300, and soon to be announced, or already announced, soon to be available, the Nova 500. So as the number suggested, that's the power output at 8 ohms. So this one in particular is outputting 220 watt at 8 ohms, which is a considerable amount of money. And you know, when Peachtree rate their power for their amp, they rate real live power. This is not like the Iowa or the Sony that claim 1,000 watt output and with the single channel driven with a noise level of like 5%. Right? This is proper power rating that should be taken not lightly, but to be trusted. One thing I want to highlight is it comes with this very nice remote control. The top surface is this brushed aluminum, which is the same as the surface of the amp itself, so it matches nicely. And then the bottom, it's this matte finish, I guess plastic, but it feels almost rubbery, which gives it grip so it doesn't slip out. And it's got this groove in the back where you can kind of slide your finger in there to kind of hold it in place. So it is quite nice looking design and solid feeling. The buttons itself is actually quite simple. It's got a standby, a mute button, volume up and down, USB, which goes through the DAC, and I'll go through some of the more functionalities in a bit. The tube, this turns the tube pre-stage on and off, which will actually light up in different colors. And then the other inputs are coaxial, optical 2, and auxiliary, which are these 5 buttons here. So again, very nice remote and very nice looking integrated app. Very good in terms of finish. Build and finish it's very solid. There's no parts that's wobbling. The dial, the knob, it's nice and smooth, and there's no wiggle. Right? This is a solid piece of work. This entire piece. This also has a nice headphone output that will actually run some of your more audiophile grade headphones. Certainly has more output than your portable audio device that's like your iPhones or iPods, portable players like that. So those of you who have been following my video, you'll recognize these puppies. These are the SVS Ultra bookshelves, and I know I had the box opening probably some time ago that I haven't actually had the time to produce a video for review, but it won't be covered in this particular video, but I've paired them up with the Peachtree because they pair very nicely. So I'm going to kind of go through the back here to walk you through the inputs. So again, it's got a nice simple design. Power, AC input, standard 3-prong audio power plug, sorry. The on-off switch, let's turn it on and off back here. The 5-way binding post so that you can connect, which I prefer banana plugs. This USB, it's for power output only, so I think this is a 5-volt power out. Has pre-out, so you can run output into another amp. I'm not sure why you would want to do that. Anyways, it's got 220 on its own, but what I've been using the pre-outs for is output directly to a power sub. I know the purists don't like to have run a sub, they just want to run purely speaker, but I personally believe that any music, especially movies, deserve a sub to kind of close out that bottom. And even if you're running full-size towers, a sub could never do harm as long as it's integrated properly. Also has auxiliary in, which was what we'll be using for testing today. Coaxial digital input, optical 1, optical 2, two optical inputs, and then USB digital input. This is the it'll use the built-in DAC, which is a Saber DACs, very good quality. You can now put audio directly from your computer via USB here, and it'll recognize as a standard USB device. No driver required if you're running one of the modern OS. So that's it. So this is the DAC. I think it's 24-bit, 192 kilohertz. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the input here. I'm going to have to turn this back around and plug in power, the left channel, and I'm going to bring over the right channel here. And then here's our audio input. I'm going to run this 3-prong wire, actually using 2 of them. The yellow here is for video, so I'm going to use the red and the white for the 2 audio. So I'm going to use that as auxiliary in. And then today's source is going to be my iPhone, so quality is not going to be, I guess, flawless, but for those of you on YouTube, you're not getting flawless audio anyways. But this is just to kind of show you what it sounds like, even over YouTube, and it's very nice. So I'm going to turn this around. You can see this lights up amber when it's on standby. When you turn it on, lights up in blue, right? And I think I don't know if you can see on there, there's a faint color on the tube itself. So if you push the tube button here, it should light up slightly. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead put this back on auxiliary input, and then open up my iDevice, and I'll play some music. So today we're going with the Bees. All my music songs starts with the Bees, just for fun. So this one is called Bittersweet. As you can see, the volume is extremely low. And one thing I want to do, actually, I'm going to pause this for a second, is that this amp, it's silent. So if you could turn the volume up, you can just barely hear the amplifier sound. So it's a very silent amp, which is what you want, right? So with that said, I'm going to continue and play the music. Forgot to turn the volume up. Another bee, blue song, bluebird. So one thing I like about this, if you turn up volume, the knob will actually move. So it's a motorized knob, see that? Very nice. Bluesy vibes. the ice.
Break down the awkwardness, put on my boots and a lily white dress. A million words, but how to express what I'm feeling when I see you. You flash a smile, I'm like, is this happening? I look your way and then of course drop everything. You walk over and ask if I'm alright. Hey, whatever it takes to break the ice.
Break you in. By the pool. So I'm going to turn this down a bit and talk over the end. So one thing I always recommend is get as much power as you need or don't need. What you don't want to do is constantly push your amp up to, say, over 50% or even like 75, 100, whatever percent. Because if you're constantly pushing that kind of volume through your amp, then you don't have enough power. That's the way I see it, right? You want to keep it at least below the top third, right? Because when you get to the maximum capacity or capability of your integrated amp, you tend to, or any amp, you tend to start pushing their boundary of their capability, right? So you want to make sure you have top end where you're not pushing your amp, where the music just comes flawless, right? So I always recommend get as much power as you don't need or as much power as you can afford. And this combination, which is quite great combination at retail price, the Nova 220 SE, I think it's at $2,000. The Ultras bookshelves are a grand for the pair. So for about $3,000, you're gonna have this unbeatable setup at the price range, right? Obviously, if you spend more, you can get more, but it becomes more diminishing return. Anyways, this is the overview of the Peachtree Nova 220 SE. Hope you enjoyed the video.